Admissions of panicked lies upon lies to avoid suspicion, an acceptance that death caps were in the meal, but firm denials from Erin Patterson that she intentionally set out to poison her guests and that it was a tragic mistake. Erin Patterson has spent days in the witness stand, and this is what happened in week 6 of her triple murder trial. Erin Patterson entered the witness box on Monday wearing a paisley shirt and generally remained articulate and composed. But as the week progressed, she had to address difficult questions, including evidence she lied about multiple things. The prosecution asked about a police interview which shows her saying she never foraged for wild mushrooms, did not dehydrate any food, and did not own a food dehydrator, as well as video showing her dumping the dehydrator at the tip. You lied about dehydrating food and mushrooms because you knew that if you told police the truth, then that would implicate you in the poison lunch. Agree or disagree? Dr. Nanette Rogers asked. I agree that I lied because I was afraid I would be held responsible, Erin Patterson said. I had disposed of it a few days earlier in the context of thinking that maybe mushrooms that I'd foraged or the meal I'd prepared was responsible for making people sick, telling the court it was a stupid knee-jerk reaction to just dig deeper and keep lying. I was just scared, but I shouldn't have done it. She said this panic is why she reset her phone multiple times, saying she first did it after the lunch because her phone had photos of foraged mushrooms. Then after the phone was seized and put in a police locker, did another remote factory reset. It was really stupid, but I thought, I wonder if they've been silly enough to leave it connected to the internet. So I hit factory reset to see what happened, and it did. Erin Patterson made a beef Wellington meal for her former in-laws Don and Gail Patterson, as well as Gail's sister Heather Wilkinson and her husband Ian in 2023. All guests became seriously ill because of death cap mushroom toxins, and 3 died. The only surviving guest, Ian Wilkinson, told the court all the guests were given individual beef Wellingtons, that each guest had a grey plate and Erin Patterson had a tan or orange plate and insisted on serving. This week, Erin Patterson said she never owned grey plates. Instead, that she used multicoloured plates, some black, some white, and a black and red plate that her daughter had made at kindergarten, and that she told her guests, grab a plate, guys, I'm just going to finish off the gravy. Ian Wilkinson also said Erin Patterson announced at the lunch that she had cancer, and the court has seen messages between Gail and Erin Patterson about her getting tests for a lump. Erin Patterson says she told these lies to hide plans for gastric bypass surgery. I led them to believe that I might be needing some treatment in the next few weeks or months. The 50-year-old also described how she struggled with her body and with binge eating. That after the guests left, she ate several pieces of a cake Gail Patterson brought to the meal, and then I felt sick. I felt overfull, so I went to the toilet and brought it back up again. The court has heard medical evidence that Erin Patterson was not as intensely sick as the other guests, but she said along with vomiting up the cake that night, she was nauseous and had diarrhea. It felt pretty frequent to me, every 20 minutes at some times, maybe further apart at other times. Erin Patterson said she'd always liked mushrooms but had developed a special interest during the pandemic, saying she first picked wild mushrooms near her home in South Gippsland and a few months later started cooking them. I cut a bit off one of the mushrooms, fried it up with some butter, ate it, and then saw what happened. They tasted good, and I didn't get sick. That she had been foraging for mushrooms in the months before the meal, but did so in her own property in Leongatha or the Corumba Botanic Gardens. Erin Patterson also detailed to her defence team how she made the beef Wellingtons, saying she first used store-bought mushrooms, but she did add dehydrated mushrooms for extra flavour. At that time, to your knowledge, what was in that Tupperware container? Colin Mandy asked her. At that time, I believed it was just mushrooms that I bought in Melbourne. And now what do you think? Now I think that there was a possibility that there were foraged ones in there as well. And at one point, she was asked by her defence team, do you accept that there must have been death cap mushrooms in it? Yes, I do, she replied. The prosecution has raised questions about evidence her computer had visited a citizen scientist website, iNaturalist, in May 2022, which logged the locations of death cap mushrooms in Victoria. It's possible. I don't know, she said. I don't have a specific memory of this day or this internet search, but my evidence is it's possible. I remember at some point wanting to find out if death cap mushrooms grow in Gippsland and finding out that they do not. The prosecution also directly asked Erin Patterson about photos showing mushrooms on a dehydrated tray in a kitchen and electronic scales. One photo appears to be mushroom matter on a tray, and the prosecution tells the court they are consistent with what mushrooms experts say death caps would look like. Dr. Nanette Rogers then suggests these were death caps foraged in Lock after seeing a post on the iNaturalist site. Erin responded, "That's not correct." And at one point during the week, the defence directly asked Erin Patterson if she intended to kill or seriously injure each of her guests. Each time she said, "No, I didn't." The trial is set down to go for 6 weeks, but it enters its 7th week next week.